All right. Thanks. Thanks, John. So, yeah, if everybody can just add their name to the chat, that would be a good start. Um, Last week we met to discuss I guess the PR, the big PR, uh, that I think that Buhake, that's from you, right? The PR that has 200 files or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
the
a
big drop.
it's the big drop from Small Ray. So I don't know if anybody has gone through the PR. I know I have not yet had time to go through the PR, but have others?
Yeah, I did. I'm proposing a different one because I was doing it also on my side. The difference is that it knows as the integration test as well as the examples. And I noticed that there were some issues with the new names that happens that are defined in the minutes in early May, I think. For example, we had the Longchain project dash core in the CDI in their Longchain project CDI group. So that would provide to create a Longchain project dash core jar file, which will conflict with the one from Longchain project itself. I guess we should still have the CDI into the artifact ID to avoid any conflict with any other repo from
Right.
Longchain4j.
That makes
So
sense to me.
that's the main difference with what Boake did. And also, yeah, like I said, I have the integration test into it. So now you can, I mean, when you build, not when you release, but when you build, the tests are run, and so at least you have a minimal testing of what is done. And otherwise I did a diff between the two commits. I might have on the 250, I have 257 files, so I might have missed something, but it nothing jumped to my face when I did it. So yeah.
All right. Emmanuel, did you already either put a comment in or a commit for the change you were suggesting to the artifact ID?
So what I did is so there is my PR is the number 4. I did a PR
Oh,
again
okay.
to
You
Longchain
just have
project
PR.
CDI.
Got it.
Yeah. Because initially I was talking on Slack and it was a small right branch. So yeah, I did the PR just before the meeting because I think it
Okay.
would be easier that way to look at it. Yeah, and I have to also the link into the minutes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Ed, you have a question?
Yes. So we have two very large PRs, one from Buhake, one from Emmanuel. Did you derive yours from his branch?
No, because I did mine. I didn't because I missed the last meetings, I would say. Uh, I did mine after the release of the small Y LLM 0.0.6, in which there were those integration tests and stuff like that. So after that, I fork it, and I've squashed all my commits into a single PR, sorry, a single commit.
Commit, right.
Yeah, and everything is in there. And then, like I said, I did a diff branch of the two branches, which because for example, I didn't rename the examples package, so I changed that to match.
Right.
I changed also the keys for the config because I didn't change the prefix. So yeah, so it should be quite the same except for some artifact ID names and minimal stuff like that.
So presumably we should not be merging both, right? So we should sort of yeah, I guess extract both, diff them, see what the deal is between them, and then uh
Yeah,
one or the other updates to make the final commits?
I guess so. The only difference is that whatever the choice, the one from Buake needs to be rewritten a bit, as I said, because of the artifact ID collision.
Right. I see
So
Buhake
that's,
looks like he dropped off. We're losing people
yeah,
faster. Um,
Oh, and there must be some Zoom problem because Max
I'm
popped
thinking,
in and then
yeah,
went away.
it feels like it. All right. Yeah, give a moment for them to join back. But Emmanuel, are you thinking of doing that, or do you want somebody else to take a look if these things and suggest changes back?
so I did the diff, like I
Oh, you
said.
did the diff.
So
Okay. Sure.
yeah, I did the diff. So I
Okay.
know it's that there were some differences on the maybe on the colonna, no, not on the colonna, maybe on the README and stuff like that. But they were quite minimal, and
So is your PR then the the one to go with basically? You've already merged in everything from Buhake that you saw was the relevant differences to your PR.
yeah, I think my PI is the one
Supersedes.
who's most up to date on both. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to break everything. But yeah,
All right. It's too
the
bad that
advantage of
Buhake's
mine is
not.
that you have the test in the integration test tree because afterwards, I mean, if you don't, uh, if you take the one from Buake, then you will have to also to port those tests into the branch. I know they are already there.
Right. Okay.
Uh, there might be differences also. What I didn't change or look really deep into are the GitHub action stuff. Basically, I took what was in function for J. Sorry, I removed everything that was very small I related and try to have oh, I might have forgotten to add them. Yes, I will do the PR. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, it was on the function for small LLM branch. I just when I copy, I missed the GitHub folder. I will have to update my PR just just to copy those files.
So I see Buhaki's back. Sorry, I guess you guys might have had trouble with Zoom because a bunch of people dropped for a minute.
Yeah, mine dropped. Sorry about that.
I think you missed an important snippet there, which was, I guess, between Emmanuel's PR and Buhaki, or I guess you had number three and Emmanuel at number four, and Emmanuel was saying that he's already done the diff of your PR and incorporated any necessary changes into his PR. So it sounds like Emmanuel supersedes, like number four supersedes number three. So
Yeah,
you might want to do a
yeah,
diff too, just to make sure that you're happy with everything, but um, just trying to make sure that we coordinate on those.
yeah. So basically, if all the changes that was already mentioned on the minutes gets reflected on his PR, I don't mind. Like last week we said, well, the package names for all the examples needs to be rebranded, renamed, and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't mind at all if we take Emmanuel's PR. But then we just need to, like I said as well, there needs to be an extensive review. I know many people don't have the time to do it, but yeah,
Okay.
that's about it.
All right. Thanks, Buhaki.
I did have a question. Last week we discussed one aspect of the fault tolerance dependency that did require making a reference to a concrete class that was not in the MicroProfile fault tolerance. I believe it was in the small RAI. That is still true, right? Emmanuel, you didn't fix that?
No, I didn't.
Okay. And did we raise the flag or raise that issue with the MicroProfile fault tolerance group? Did someone follow up on that?
Not on my side.
Okay. Let's at least capture it in the issues. Did we capture it last week? It looks like we didn't. 30th May, there was very few details in there. Let me take a note myself. Actually, no, looks like someone's doing it.
I'm doing that.
That's fine, Don. Do you recall what I'm talking about?
Yep.
No, Don, do you?
Yeah, I do.
right.
You might do a better job of I know you guys gave a really good explanation of what we wanted to do, so I don't know if you want to open an issue on it, Ed. If there is one.
Well, let me write it down here, and then I think we can open an
Okay.
issue. Let's do that. I'll volunteer to write it down and file the issue because it's one of those ones I don't want to lose, and it's one of those ones that only
Yep.
surfaces when you're really using something in anger in a very deep way. So let's see if I can capture this area. The issue. And Buhake, you can correct me because I think you were at the coal face on that.
But core issue was that you can't add you can't do interceptor binding on interfaces according to the CDI spec, but only on CDI managed beans. So if there's no hackable way of, so in order for the fault tolerance to work, you just have to, okay, wait, let me rewind back.
Yeah.
So the current implementation uses an interceptor factory to link the fault tolerance by interceptor binding to the interface so that it can inject. Outside of that, you can't, because you need to annotate it on a CDR managed bean already. So basically an implementation, a concrete implementation that's managed by CDR. You can't do fault tolerance on something that is either a synthetic bean or a proxy bean. Because
That's the nub of it, right?
Yeah, because there's no way of annotating it.
Is this a fact in the implementation or just a test?
No, even the implementation.
Okay.
Because if you create a plugin, for example, and then you get a reference to that interface, it's a proxy bean. How there is no way to physically provide an interceptor binding to the proxy.
Yeah, understood.
So that's why also, like, for example, we gave an example on the REST client API as well for MicroProfile. You can't do fault tolerance as well because it is an interface and the underlying implementation gets dynamically generated. But annotating it with like either a retry or a fallback will not trigger it. Unless you use like a interceptor factory to do it. In order to use an interceptor factory, you need to bind it to some concrete interceptor binding annotation. For small RAI, it is a what's it called? I think it's a fault tolerance extension of small tolerance something as an interceptor binding. Helidon has a command binding annotation, which is package private, so you can't get it. And Quarkus does it differently because they've got a different way of discovering classes and and registering it. So Quarkus only Quarkus have managed to make it work.
Yeah,
um,
I can't. I remember some of this stuff a while
Yeah.
ago, and yeah, just raise an issue. I feel like some of this was solved, like there was a way, but yeah, it might be that because we do stuff at build time, we don't have to. We have the benefit. Oh, we have that benefit. But yeah, raise the issue. It's. I believe there was a solution found, but I just can't remember it offhand.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Good news, Max. But my question to Bahake is, can you review what I've written here in the agenda? I mean, I'm volunteering to file the issue, but you're better placed to do it. I'm just offering to do it if you don't have time.
Okay.
Which would you
Yeah,
prefer?
I can review it. That's fine.
Okay. Please also see if you could add references to the code, the source files that show the issue. Because I've described it at a high level here, but it would be great to have actual code saying, here's an example of the problem.
Oh, okay.
And it's also very good news that Max stated that the problem might have already been solved, which
Yeah, don't just. I just remember the discussion, and I feel like there was. At least I think people know, and so if you raise the issue, and there's actually now like a technical limit if you're doing it purely spec, yeah, get it up. And,
yeah, and if it was solved, then they'll close it as not a bug. So, and we'll fix the code on our side.
Yeah. So. And sorry, I'm driving, so I can't see much on the screen. So I'm just.
Sorry, were you sharing, Don, and I stole it from you?
No, thanks for sharing the agenda.
All right.
All right, so Emmanuel, did you have anything else on that you wanted to say, or is that basically we should take a look at your PR and make sure that everybody reviews it?
So if we figure out the name for LangChain for J4 then, because the only difference between LangChain for J's, LangChain for J4 and us is the group ID, because it ends with a .cdi. Or are we just going to give it another name so that there's no confusion?
I'm not sure. I don't understand what you're saying, Buhake. Maybe others do.
Emmanuel raised the issue that right now we have LangChain for J-Core.
Right.
Which is also the same name of LangChain for J's actual LangChain for J-Core, with the exception of the group ID. Are we going to rename the LangChain for J-Core so that we don't get confused with LangChain for J's actual core, LangChain for J implementation, or API?
I think we should have LangChain for J -CDI on all the artifact ID.
We had that, and then it was later renamed again.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree that, but I think it's better that way because it makes more sense and it will avoid any conflict that might occur in the future also. Because yeah, we could rename only core, for example, but then who knows what is going to happen in LangChain for J, I would say, space universe in the future. So I'd rather have something that is 100% under our control, and if someone comes with that that prefix, I would say, then he is the one that has to change because he is the one making anything wrong. While if it's LangChain for J, it's going to be tricky.
And this seems to be not a problem in PR4, because I've just done a quick sample of several of the POMs, but all of the ones I looked at do have LangChain for J CDI prefix.
Yeah, because I miss the I miss a minute where the renaming was told was written. So I didn't rename it to the new names. I keep the initial one.
Oh, so you kind of missed that. Got it.
Yeah,
Well, so it's good. It's no problem.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
Which module
you
is it that has the current problem, the Langchain4j collision?
The
So,
Project CDI core. So that would be
so if you
now.
compare the pull request version 3, which
Mhm.
is what we've been working on the whole time, and Emmanuel's version 4, version 3's naming is the one that we all agreed on until I don't know when. So the names were shorter. So it wasn't Langchain4j-CDI- whatever. So like I said, it was on the minutes, I think 20th of May, when everybody decided
Yeah,
to rename.
it's on the second of May. Yeah,
Yeah.
function. Yeah.
So it was decided to be renamed into smaller name. So now Emmanuel raised that even Langchain4j has Langchain4j core. You see, like
Right.
but you'll see the package name, the GAV has dev.langchain4j.cdi.
So we want to
Which-
rename to Langchain4j-CDI-core. That looks like we already did.
Well,
No.
PR4 has it that way, and PR3 has it this
Oh,
way.
okay. All right. Fair enough. Sorry, I didn't realize that's a
So that's one.
done statement already.
Okay, so we're reverting back. So
Effectively.
Yeah.
okay.
That's a good reason to revert it back, though, because we don't want to have the same name as Langchain4j's artifact.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Put that as a comment. Okay. There we go. Perfect.
All right. Is there any other business we wanted to bring up?
Sorry, going back on fault tolerance, I think what we had also talked in a meeting before was that instead of making a dependency on small rai, we will bring those 3-4 classes to be local to the Langchain4j CDI package, right? So that in future, whenever the MicroProfile dependency is fixed, all changes are local and there is no small y dependency on class path for vendors. So I don't think we made that change. I know Buhik responded to my review comment on his PR, but do you guys see any issue about having those classes locally and not depend on small y?
What for fault tolerance? So bringing the implementation from fault tolerance into the current implementation.
Yeah, whatever we need to do, couple of classes that are implementation or concrete class, make it package them with our Langchain4j CDI fault tolerance.
Perhaps it depends on what's in those. I know we try to avoid having concrete implementations. Obviously makes things more fragile, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, well, here's another thought, Arya. If Max's recollection is correct, and there is another solution to this, it might be the case that we should go with that.
Sure, for sure. I mean, I agree. What Meg said, if we can do that, and if we verify that thing, then that is the first choice. But this is just in case if that doesn't pan out.
Right.
Yeah.
But is it possible that we could commit it this way and raise the issue, do the investigation? I guess what I'm saying is, do we need to block getting this big drop done? Because it's been so long. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was this new Embabble thing from the Spring side. So I do believe we're under time pressure to get something out and start making buzz because the ship is leaving the dock. So I would rather get this merged, fix this problem afterwards, especially if there's a way to fix it that's not having to introduce classes. Oh boy, I got handed the host. Thanks, Don.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see that this has been pending for a while now. It's okay to merge the PR. I don't want to make a release with the PR. So the
Yeah, we're not
the
talking
PR
about
can
making a
go in.
release.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to fix this then. This would make, well, I'll finish typing this.
Did we list down Max's suggestion over here to try out? I don't see that listed.
We don't know what it is. The plan of record is to raise the issue, bring it to the fault tolerance community, and then get them to, hey, was this fixed, right? And if so, tell me how, and close this issue, and then we'll fix it.
Okay.
But that's a matter that we're being hopeful there. I don't know if that's actually going to come through.
Yeah, last thing I wanted to mention was I am playing with Wix PR locally. I think my comment on not using small testing library still stands, but I'm not going to hold this PR for that.
Right.
Once this goes in, maybe I will submit a PR which actually removes dependency on small testing and just uses JUnit or whatever LangChain for J is using locally. So.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we should go that way because otherwise, I mean, it's easier than to track if you want to afterwards to just remove those classes because they will be in just a single commit.
Sorry, Emmanuel, I could. Your voice was very faint for me. I could barely hear you.
Okay. Not know which. Just checking which mic I'm on. Yeah, I was saying that it makes more sense to have those new classes in a dedicated PR or commit, so that when in the future we want to remove them, and we just have a single point of would say reference, so it's easier than to remove.
Yeah, sure.
Because I mean, 2 or 3 files in the 200 and more files makes them more difficult to track or to just not to miss one of the files.
Yeah,
that's fine. So it seems to me the action item is to get, well, first, Buhake, please ensure that everything that you want from your PR is represented in PR4, and then please mark yours as closed. And then we could all focus our attention on reviewing 4. Okay. All right, we are 3 minutes over, so I don't want to. I dropped this medium thing here. So I want to make sure at least everyone here is aware of it. Maybe we can talk about it next week, um, about what our, what we think about it. Like, this is a great brain trust of people, and I wanted to get their opinion on it, because I personally would like to avoid another situation where it's well, maybe it's unavoidable, honestly. There's the Spring way, and then there's the Jakarta EE way, or, the closed standard and the open standard way. Maybe that's just how it's going to be.
Okay.
But I think we need to think about this. Okay.
Have a
Ed?
good weekend.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
So
folks.
enjoy the weekend. Yeah.
Oh, enjoy the weekend. I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
See
I
you
won't be here
time.
next week. I'll be visiting my son in San Francisco, who started his job at Roblox. So, all right.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm super
Cool.
proud of him. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Congratulations.
Have a good weekend.
Good, right?